Hello everyone, welcome to all. In the previous session, we have discussed about examples of measurement systems along with examples of control systems. Okay. In this session, we are going to learn about the what is meant by sensor and what is meant by transducer. What is the difference between these two sensors and transducers? And the next, what are the kinds of sensors? What are the types of sensors? How do we classify the sensors? Okay, let me revise what we discussed in previous session. So measurement system, a system which contains basically three elements. First one is the sensor or transducer. A sensor is nothing but it is a device. Is a device which senses the physical quantity and produces some signals, and these signals has been sent to the signal conditioner or microcontroller, whatever it may be. Okay, so what is the main purpose of sensor is it sends the signals, it sends the physical quantity and produce some form of signals. Okay, and this form of signals and we going to sense to the signal conditioner. And the next, signal conditioner is nothing but the microprocessor, microcontroller, whatever it may be. And display, as we know that whatever the output we obtain in the is on the display. Okay, and the next, configuration of measurement systems. So as we know that there are three kind of elements there in the measurement system. First one is sensor, transducer, as the same signal conditioner, as well as the measure display device, or you can read out devices. Okay, and the power supply has been given to the across these two devices, which is sensors or sensors or signal conditioner. Through the power supply, we can give an input as a, and then next, this sensor senses the physical quantity and produces some form of energies, some form of signals, and this signals has been given sent to the signal conditioner. After signal conditioner, some controlling has been performed, and at the same time some processing has been performed, and then later entire operation has been displayed on display devices or readout devices. Okay, so some more speedometer or thermocouple. For me, example, let us take is speedometer. Speedometer, the input is cable rotation, and output is speed of the vehicle. So the output is only depending upon the input, but input is does not depending upon the output. Okay, suppose in thermocouple also, the input is heat, the output is temperature. And the next, transducer. Transducer is nothing but the is one of the kind of the sensor, but there is a little bit of change in their configuration. First one is there is a change of one form to it has a capable of, it has the ability to change the one form to another form, which the input is one form and the output given by output obtained by the system, output obtained by the transducer is another form. Okay, in this thermocouple also, the input is heat and the output is EMF. EMF nothing but the electromagnetic force. This is the electrical form of thermocouple. Okay, in case of mechanical form of the thermocouple is output is temperature. If in case of electrical form of thermocouple, the output is EMF. And then pressure gauge. Pressure gauge, the input is pressure as well as the output is displacement. This is the mechanical form of pressure gauges. Okay, but the output displacement is nothing but the analog dial gauge. Dial gauge, the input is pressure. Suppose dial gauge would like to mount it upon the boiler. So what are the amount of pressure accumulated within the boiler is input. The output is the analog meter. Okay, so how the needle has been displayed, that is called pressure gauge. Pressure gauge is nothing but the mechanical form of sensor. Okay, in case of digital thermometer principle, so it's a completely This is the configuration of closed loop control system. This is the configuration control system in which thermocouple and transducer, some some kind of thermocouple, we can call it as a transducer, and the next signal processor, and then finally display unit. So in the transducer, the what are the input has given to the thermocouple is heat, and the output is displacement. Okay, the displacement of these two posts, based on the deviation of these two posts, some form of which produces some form of signals to the controller, amplifier. So in this amplifier, the form of the frequency of signals, which may be increases, which may be decreases, which can controls the frequency of signals, and then converts and sends to these frequency to the converter. AD is nothing but the analog to digital converter or display decoder, and then finally output is obtained in the LED display. And the next, open loop control system. As we know that in this one, in order to activate the fan, we need to supply some required power to the input as the input, and then this input as pass it to the fan, through the regulator, and this regulator acts as the controller. The output is wicker speed. So what are the output is directly proportional to directly depending upon the input. So if you reduce the voltage given to the system fan, the output is there is a little bit of reduction in this speed of the fan. On off on electrical lamp, or one more example, sir. Control the temperature of room with the room heater. These are the examples. And the next, closed loop control system with the feedback control system. So what is the mean? Feedback is nothing but feedback is nothing but there is a provision of we will provide a platform to communicate the output with reference to input. A comparison element, in this case, comparison element is nothing but which compares how much difference between the reference value, at the same time feedback value. Feedback value is nothing but the output value. What we set up a reference value, what is the difference between this reference value and the feedback value? This is the comparison element which compares in difference between these two. And the next, and then followed by a control unit, and then followed by correction unit. Control is where the control, how does wave frequency going to be controlled, or how does the path will be followed and planned. And the correction, is there any correction, some undesired sounds, not only the complete purity of signals, there is might be chance of mixing of undesired signals. So in order to remove or correct the undesired signals, we need to provide some correction unit. And the next, processing, where the process is going on, and the output is controllable variable. And next, hand raising an object. Hand raising an object is nothing but so suppose I would like to reach an object with my hand. So how does the brain, which acts as a control unit? So what are the, whether my hand reaches the object or not, is how do I realize through the eyes? So the eyes, which has the feedback system, which gives the signals as how much difference between what is the position of my hand with respect to the position of the object. So through this eyes, we can differentiate or reach the particular object. Next, speed control of an automobile. So suppose we are driving a vehicle. So I would like to know how much speed the vehicle moves with. So we can see speedometer. So in order to reduce the speed, either may turning off, either it may be we reduce the speed, either it may be reduces the accelerometer or increases the, I mean, reduces, shift the gear to the neutral position, or reduce the lower gear. So all this in this brain is acts as a control unit, and then eyes is the acts as a feedback devices. Hands is purpose of shifting the gear to higher gear to lower gear, and the legs is or the purpose of for the reduce or the increasing the acceleration, or the applying for the brakes. And the next, water level controller of overhead tanks. In the overhead tanks, the float, suppose entire circuit is connected with a, entire circuit is a electrically closed loop circuit. Okay, whenever the water level in the overhead tank reaches the certain maximum point, the float, this is the contactors. Fixed contactors. You have, whenever the float reaches the and reaches the higher position and touches the fixed contactor, the entire closed circuit will be off or break. So whenever the circuit is break, then the motor is going to be off position. So and then whenever the loses is the float move away from the fixed contactor, there will be a chance of electrical circuit, there will be a chance of circuit is on position. So the motor will be goes to the on position. And the next, room temperature control manual, whether it is manual. So how many being switched to a room heater, or power supply to the room heater, or observed by the feeling. How do we control the room temperature with reference to the our feelings? Okay, how do we feel, whether it is cold, whether it is hot, whether it is a medium of temperature, is a humidity ratio, or a suffocation problem, or whatever it may be, whether by feeling the situation, we can control the temperature to the remote. Okay, block diagram of microprocessor based process control. So DA is nothing but the, in this case, just have a look at this diagram. DA is nothing but the data acquisition system. So these are the data acquisition system. These are the sensors, actually the input sensors. These are the sensors which measures the physical parameter, physical quantity, and and produces some form of signals to the microprocessor. Okay, these are the sensors: pressure sensor, or temperature sensor, flow meters, whether it is load sensor, liquid level sensors, or pH meter. So all these sensors gives the, which all these sensors senses the physical quantity and produces some kind of signals to the signals, and then these signals has been sent to the DAA system. DAA system is nothing but the data acquisition system, where the place where all the signals has been stored within the system. Okay, and then all these storage signals are has been sent to the microprocessor for the processing purpose. And the next, keyboard is used for the giving the program. Okay, and display system, as per the control, how does he control. And then next, the output is the, whether it may be relay situation, or digital to analog controllers conversions, and solenoid valve. Solenoid was nothing but the, so temperature to is a device for the temperature to, so mechanical devices. So whenever that solenoid valve getting the heat flux, whether it is heating or cooling, some energy sources which produce some displacement of all displacement. Okay, next, block diagram microprocessor based process control system for a automatic camera. Automatic camera we have discussed as we know that switch to activate system. So first of all, whenever to switch on, whenever we like to shoot your photo start with the automatic camera, just we just first step is switch on the activate system, and the next, operating the press button to take photographs, and the next, battery test, as well as the interfacing circuitry, range sensor, how much is its range, it's a long shot or short short range sensor, and then next light sensor. Light sensor is nothing but the while taking pictures, so whether the flashlight has been given, should be on or should not be on off. Okay, and encoder to gives lens position. In automatic cameras, separate encoders has been given to has been is plays a vital role in the for adjusting them itself lens position. So all these sensors are produce some kind of signals to the microprocessor and sends to the in this microprocessor input output devices. The entire program has been proceed and the runs as per the given program. The output is motor drive or solenoid actuated to open shutter. Solenoid valve is nothing but the actuated to open shutter, and lens position drive operator control drive as the stepper motor and display data in viewfinder. In case of automatic washing machine, so what are the activities in going to be performed in the automatic washing machine? First level is the soaking. In order to soak the cloths, we need to just to fill up the entire washing machine drum with some level of water, and then put it in put it in a ideal position for some time, and then later this is the process of we call it as a soaking, and then later rinsing, soaking or washing. First activity is soaking, and the next activity is washing, and third activity is rinsing, and the fourth activity is drying. As we know that these are the activities we are going to perform in the automatic washing machine. First activity is soaking. In order to soaking is nothing but the so just to fill up with water and kept it in an ideal position for some time. So you can call it as soaking. And then next washing. After some time, after completion of soaking, we just washing activity has been performed, and then next rinsing. So in order to after a completion of washing, some kind of bubbles have bubbles were formed within the water level, within the water. So in order to remove the uh, bubbles, we're just giving some kind of rinsing. Rinsing is nothing but the so pumping, so what you call splashing the water droplets with some kind of velocity over the cloth is called it as rinsing. So in order to remove the water, the what you call detergent, what are the deposited what are the in order to remove the deposited detergent, okay, while washing. And the next drying is nothing but the in order to reduce the moisture content within the cloth, we perform drying operation. So in order to perform the soaking operation, we just pump acts as a basic controller for the supply of water to the washing drum. And then next to washing, to whether it is valve is open, whether it is a valve should be closed, is controlled by the actuator. And the next motor. In case of washing machine, so in case of washing, the load drum has to be rotated with some kind of velocity. So in order to rotate the load drum, the motor will be going to be switched on. Okay, and then next after drying operation also, in order to reduce the valves compared to these are the valves. So in order to perform the drying operation, the valve will be the drain valve will be open, and then at the same time the drum also rotating with a certain kind of velocity. So what are the due to the eccentricity motion, the what are the amount of moisture content within the cloths will be dried out. And the next, engine management system. So these are the engine management system. In this engine management, some engine speed, and we are going to observe that these are the parameters in order to move the vehicle with a certain speed, or spark timing, as well as the safe zoner, engine speed and the crankshaft position, spark timing with the feedback system, and then engine temperature, as well as the throttle position and the quantity of airflow. These are the parameters we are going to we need to observe for the efficient manner, for the working of the engine in an efficient manner. Suppose engine speed is directly proportional to the spark timing. Okay, and the next, crankshaft position, spark timing, all these are directly proportional to the solenoid or air fuel mixture. Okay, and then fuel injection on the exhaust valves. The output parameters is are spark timings, and then solenoid air fuel mixture or fuel injection or exhaust valves. In this section, what is the difference between sensors as well as the transducer? So sensor is a device which provides the usable output in a response to specified measurement. Measurement is nothing but what are the physical quantity that should be to be measured. What it sense, and then it can also be defined as a device that converts the signal from one form of energy to another usable form. All sensors are transducer, but all transducers does not necessary to become as a sensor. Okay, it's vice versa. Okay, and only sensing element present, and then next, sensing element along with some circuitry is present. Okay, in case of sensor, only sensing element is present within the sensor. In case of transducer, along with the sensing element, some kind of signal conditioning, some kind of circuit is present within the transducer. Okay, the main thing is there is a circuit here. In case of transducer, in case of sensor, there is no circuit. And the next, the sensor merely measures a quantity and cannot by itself give feedback to the system. And if in case of transducer, can convert between any form of energy that can be used to provide feedback to the system. Okay, this is the examples of proximate sensor or magnetic sensor or accelerometer sensor, light sensor. And if in case of sensor, if in case of sensor, there is no, it cannot change by itself only. But in kind of transducer, there is a chance of changing one form of energy to another form of energy. Thermistor or potentiometers are the examples for the sensors, as well as the proximate sensor, magnetic sensor. These are the sensors for the examples for the transducer. There is a change in the energy. So which receives the some kind of energy as an input, and which is or the output of the device is another kind of energy. Okay, and the next, working principle of a sensor. Sensor detects the changing environment. Okay, sensors detect the changing environment by changing the inherent state. Inherent state nothing but the physical, whether it may be physical state or the internal state also. physical state, inherent state, at which position of a particular body, inherent state of the material or sensing system such as resistance, magnetism, or conductivity, or capacitance, etc. These are the parameters. These are the parameters, whether it may be physical parameters, whether it may be resistance, whether it is magnetism, whether it is conductivity, whether it is capacitance. All these parameters are measured by the sensors. Okay. And this, in order to sense the change in property of a material, we cannot, in case of this statement belongs to the transducer. Okay. In order to sense the change in property of a material, we connect it to suitable circuitry. Okay, as we discussed earlier that. So in case of transducer, there is a circuit. Additionally, we applied some kind of circuit. We add a circuit to reflect the changes alternation in electrical parameters. Suppose let us consider a circuit here. So this RS is nothing but the resistance of a sensor, and this RT is nothing but the resistance of a transducer. So it may be changes, its variation. Okay, RS is always in a fixed position. Okay, what is the V in is nothing but the voltage input, and the V out is nothing but the voltage output. Whenever we supply the voltage input across these two resistance, the required output obtained. Okay, so what is the difference between while we derive the relation, V out is directly proportional to the RT by RT plus R. Why? Because these two resistance are connected with a parallel connection, not a series connection. All these two resistance are connected in a parallel connection, though the output of the voltage is directly proportional to the RT by RT plus RS into Vn. So then the RT brings out, then RS into V out by RS into V out by V in minus V out. Okay, it's a direct step from this one. So just V out is multiplied with RT and RS individually. Then the follow step is V out into RT plus V out into RS. So and then RT is, and V out and RT as well as the minus RT. So we can combine this RT, and then obtain relation is RS into V out by V in minus V out. So RT is nothing but the R naught into the final formula for this one. Final formula we can, this one R naught into e to the power of beta and 1 by Tt minus T naught. Tt is the temperature of specified temperature, and T naught is the ambient temperature. Okay, T naught is the base temperature. Ambient temperature, we can call it as base temperature. What is the basic temperature? Okay, R naught is the base resistance, and beta is the sensitivity of a constant for the sensor. For every sensor, there is a constant which is provided by the manufacturing company. And the next, how do you specification of sensors? Specification, how do you specify the sensor? Based on its range. The range of sensor indicates the limits between which the input can be measured. For example, thermocouple of measurement of temperature might have a range of 25 to 225 degrees centigrade. What is we can suppose every sensor has a specific. How do you specify? Based on its range, based on span, based on its surface. These are the parameters. Based on these parameters, the sensor has been classified. So if you consider the range, what is the range of the sensor? You can call it as a device. Suppose a sensor has a range of 25 degrees centigrade to 225 degrees centigrade. So what does it mean by a device which can measure any temperature from whether within the 25 to 200 degrees centigrade only. So if in case of 15 degrees, it can't be suitable for to measure that kind of temperature. If in case of 300 degrees centigrade, if we consider 300 degrees centigrade, at that time also this kind of device cannot be suitable for the particular time 300 degrees centigrade at 300 degrees centigrade. So this is called range is 25 to 225 degrees centigrade. If in case of span is the difference between the maximum and minimum value of the input. So what is the in this situation, what is the maximum and minimum? 225 is the maximum and 25 is the minimum. So what is the difference between these two? Obviously 200 degrees. So these 200 degrees centigrade we can call it as a span. And the next, error. What is the error? Is the difference between the result of measurement and the true value of the quantity being measured. So is the difference between the actual measurement to the true value being measured. Okay, reference measurement and as well as the practical measurement. A sensor might have a displacement reading of 29.8 mm. Okay, this is a physical reading, and when the actual displacement has been 300 mm. So what is these two difference between? What is the difference between these two? 0.2 mm. Okay, actual displacement, whenever the actual displacement is 300 mm, but the displacement reading is 29.8 mm. So what is these two difference? What is the resultant displacement, resultant measurement, as well as the actual measurement? We can call it as a error. Okay. Next, accuracy. Accuracy is nothing but the accuracy defines the closeness of the agreement between the actual measurement resultant and the true value of measurement. Okay, closeness arrangement. So it is often expressed as the percentage of full range output. If the thermometer has accuracy of 2.2%, then we expect the output of the sensor is a deviation of plus or minus 0.4 degrees centigrade. How it will come? So in this situation, what is the, suppose let me consider this sensor has a range of 25 to 225 degrees centigrade and having a span of 200 degrees centigrade and has an error of just 0.2 mm. It has a, let us consider this sensor. Okay, and what is the accuracy is nothing but the what is the percentage of the full range output. It is often expressed as the percentage of full range. Full range is nothing but the 200 degrees centigrade. Full range is nothing but the 200 degrees centigrade. If the thermometer has an accuracy of 0.2%, then we can expect the output of the sensor has a deviation of 0.4 degrees centigrade. It's nothing but the 0.4 degrees centigrade. So is a point with reference to the full range, which measures into 100. Okay. With reference to the, we are considering with reference to the full range. So let us have if it has an accuracy of 0.2%, so to cancel, the output is 0.4%. Okay. And the next accuracy, accuracy is nothing but the, suppose the output is 100 degrees centigrade, then sorry, it's getting some difficult while using the mouse. Okay, hope you understand. Uh, Suppose I would like to so device which measures the 100 degrees centigrade. Then due to some manufacturing error, it might be leads to it might be chance of it might be allowed to some plus or minus zero point 0.4 degrees centigrade, whether it may be 100.4 degrees centigrade and 99.6 degrees of centigrade. Okay, and next sensitivity. Sensitivity is nothing but the sensitivity of a sensor is defined as the sensitivity of a sensor is defined as the ratio of the change in output value to the output value of a sensor to the per unit change in input value. It is the ratio between the change in sorry change in output value to the per unit change in input value. Okay, sensitivity is the ratio between the change in output value to the per unit change in unit input value. So the greater in the sensitivity is better is able to detect the change in environment, but a highly sensitive sensor introduce noise in the system is nothing but the whenever let us take an example here. Whenever suppose input and output, here input, here output is there. Suppose if I change the input system as a 1 degree centigrade, the output is 5 degree centigrade. Okay, if the input is rises to one more degree centigrade, okay, and the output is 10 degrees of centigrade. So what is meant by this? If for every unit change in input value, there is a corresponding changing how much the corresponding changing output value, how much the corresponding change in output value. So we can call it as a sensitivity. If in this situation, what is the sensitivity of this sensor? 5 degrees centigrade, we can call it as a sensitivity of a sensor. And coming to the next point is non-linearity. The non-linearity indicates the maximum deviation of the actual measured curve of a sensor from a ideal curve, calibrated curve. Calibrated is nothing but the, every calibration is nothing but the with the reference. How do you text this one? calibration is nothing but the actual value to the reference value. Calibration value is nothing. How do we calibrate for every industry? There is a separate calibration department. So in order to calibration, whether the measuring devices, so in order to maintain the best accuracy, precise accuracy, we need to measure the measuring with some measuring devices. So whether the measuring devices, whether sensors is perfectly working or not. So we just need a calibration the suppose the devices. How do you calibrate the devices is nothing but the some we have some reference value with we just tested the sensor with some reference value and what is the whether it is calibration within the range, within the limitation, within the range of their own limitation, then you can proceed to the working purpose. Okay, and first one is the non-linearity. Non-linearity indicates that maximum deviation of the actual measured curve of a sensor from the ideal curve. So it's nothing but the suppose this is the input, this is the output. So I can call it as a, this is the input and this is the output. While doing the suppose here is the 0.2. mm. It is the 10.2 mm. Is the 9.2 mm, 8 mm, 81 mm. So a transducer which has a deviation of, if in case of 0 degree centigrade, sorry, .2 mm, it 0 degree centigrade. If in case of 9.81 mm, it 10 degree centigrade. Okay. -10 degree centigrade. So while we doing calibration, so it has a range of from here to here. Okay, from here to here. What is the relation between the? So while doing calibration, this is the span, which you recall this is the span. From 0 degree centigrade to 10 degree centigrade, this is the span. So through the reference of span, what is the difference maximum? What is the difference between 0.2 mm and 9.81 mm? Okay, so non-linear is nothing but the, so why this is the reference line, this is the linear line, and then is the actual line. So difference between the measured curve and the ideal curve, you can call it as a maximum error. So non-linearity is nothing but the relation between the, is the ratio of maximum error to the span. So with multiplied by the 100, we can call it as a non-linearity. And the next, hysteresis. Hysteresis is a beautiful concept we need to observe. And the hysteresis is an error of sensor which is defined as the maximum difference in output at any measurement value within the sensor specified range when approaching the point first and decreasing the input parameters. So how do you calculate that? Suppose while doing operations, while doing calibration, whenever the, suppose I have a thermocouple here, I would like to increase the heat flux, then the temperature will be goes on like this one. Okay, the temperature will be goes on like this one. Even after the, whenever the, after certain point, I would like to reduce the temperature like this one only. Suppose this is the, I would like to want to follow this curve while reducing the temperature. But in actual cases, what will happen? This temperature will, the graph will be acts like this one. The increment order is this one. The decrement order is this, like this one. So how does it changes? How what will happens? So there is a, so it is call it as a error. How is the maximum difference between these two error? Particular input, the IT has a, suppose if I consider a, well in increasing order, suppose at 10 degrees centigrade, the temperature will be at 10 degrees centigrade, the temperature, sorry, not at 10 degrees centigrade, 10 kelvins. Okay, 10 kelvins. At a particular heat flux, suppose 10 watt per meter, kelvins watt per meter square. At the Q equals 10, the temperature will be suppose 35 degrees centigrade. At Q equals 10. If in case of here, -45 degrees centigrade, at Q equals 10, how much it is? Same, 10 watts per meter square. Okay, at the same input, the temperature will be, for increasing order, the temperature will be 35 degrees centigrade, while the after reaching certain point, then the, when we using the reduction, will be the reduction curve, the particular input is for 10 watt per meter square. At a particular heat flux, the corresponding temperature will be 45 degrees. So what is the difference between these 45 degrees centigrade and the 35 degrees centigrade? Is the hysteresis. This hysteresis we can call it as a, so we can call it as a error. Okay, hysteresis. We can call it as a error is nothing but the hysteresis. And then next, next concept is resolution. Resolution is the smallest detectable increment change in input parameter. Resolution is the smallest detectable incremental change of input parameter that can be detected with in the output signal. So for example, if a LVDT is nothing but the linear variable distribution transformer. Okay, linear variable distribution transformer. Sensor measures the displacement up to 20 mm. It provides an output as a number between 1 to 100. Then the resolution of sensor device is 0.2 mm. What is the resolution? Is nothing but the, what is the smallest detectable incremental change of input? What is the smallest detectable incremental change of input parameter that can be detected as in the output signal? So it's nothing but the, suppose LVDT has a sensor measures the displacement up to 20 mm and it provides an output of number between 1 to 100. So how do you calculate the resolution? It's 20 by 100. We can call it as a sensor device, we can 0.2 mm. We can obtain 0.2 mm as a resolution. So resolution nothing but the in this situation, LVDT is nothing but the linear variable differential transformer. Okay. LVDT is nothing but a linear variable differential transformer. This is a kind of sensor which can measure the displacement up to 20 mm. Okay, so in between in the range of 1 to 100 mm. So what is the minimum displacement that LVDT sensor can measure? So it is called as 0.2 mm. 0.2 is nothing but the, how do we calculate this? So and overall is 20 mm. It has a range of 1 to 100 mm. So how do you calculate the resolution of the sensor? Is nothing but the 20 by 100. We can get the you can get the 0.2 mm. So if in case of 0.1 mm, if the change in 0.1 mm also, if the input is 0.1 mm also, the sensor won't be show 0.2 mm. So only it shows the only 0. Okay. If in case of 0.1 also, you can 0. If in case of 0.2 also, then the displacement will be 0.2. Okay. And the next, stability. And the next, stability. Stability is the ability of a sensor device to give some output when used to measure a constant input over a period of time. After certain time of a certain period of time, whether the sensor gives the same value or it gives the some deviation. So how do you specify stability? Stability is the ability of a sensor device over a period of time. It give you whether it is gives the same output or is there any change in engine output. The term drift is used to indicate the change in output that occurs over a period of time. Period of time is important here. Over a period of time is expressed as the percentage of full range output. Okay, how do you use stability? For one day it can okay. For 1 month, whether it is represents the same value or not. Okay, how do you, this is the call it is stability. And the next, response time. Response time describes the speed of the change in the output on a stepwise change of the measurement. So how do response? How do you speed up the change? How do you speed? Suppose what is the suppose let us is this is a device, it's a sensor. So I just give a input is here and the output will be how much time taken to give you output. Response time, how much time it will respond to show particular. Okay, response time describes the speed of the change in the output as a stepwise change of the measurement. How do you respond is stepwise, in a stepwise change. Suppose 1 degree centigrade, the output will be 1 degree centigrade at 1 second, within 1 second, with 1 second. So you can call it as a 1 degree centigrade within 1 second. or and then next one more, if in case of 2 degrees centigrade, the output will be 2 degrees centigrade with within 1 second. So here successive change. So whenever the 1 degree centigrade given to the system, the output of 1 degree centigrade within 1 second. How much within 1 second they give the input out, then they gives the output. Though and the next, while the change in successive change in stepwise change in the input, then how much time it takes to the represent the output. So this is called a response time. Okay. And the next concept, potentiometer and the strain gauges. These are the examples: piezoelectric sensor and the Hall effect sensor. These are the sensors we will discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you.